In today's episode, we're going to be talking about lucky girl syndrome. Now, this could also be lucky boy syndrome, whatever. That's just what they call it on TikTok. So, lucky girl syndrome. I am down with the sickness. I am ill. I have lucky girl syndrome. And this is a mindset that anyone can take on. I really do think it is a mindset shift. And I'm not into all that woo-woo stuff, okay? The universe and crystals and whatever. That's not me personally. So I don't know if I'm actually just lucky. I think it's more about focusing on the positives and actually recognizing when good things happen to you instead of focusing on the negatives and constantly complaining about bad things happening to you. I also think that you can put yourself in a position to be more lucky. And sobriety did that for me. I actually made a video about lucky girl syndrome on my personal TikTok page at India Gantz when I was 53 days sober. And now I am probably, by the time you're watching this, like 280 days sober. So I had a little throwback moment and I went back and watched that video about lucky girl syndrome, and it was so happy. It was such a sweet video because in the beginning of my sobriety, good things kept happening to me, and it kind of gave me the feeling like I'm doing the right thing. This is what I've always been meant to do. Like I am meant to be a sober person. And once I got sober, so many random good things happened to me. And one of the big reasons that all that was happening was because I was getting my life in order and I had a lot more time on my hands. In the beginning of sobriety, you realize really how many hours there are in the day because you're not starting to drink at 3 p.m. and just wasting the second half of your day. I actually was awake and doing things from, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day. And so I just had more opportunities for good things to happen. And so they were. But yeah, I'm going to tell you about lucky girl syndrome, what's happened to me, how you can achieve lucky girl syndrome and bring more luck into your life in a non-woo-woo way, like seriously just being realistic about it, okay? So let's get into the episode. Welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. This is a no judgment zone. I really freaking like my life without alcohol. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Sobriety has changed my life completely. All right, so welcome back to the show. We do episodes here every Tuesday and Thursday with some sprinkles on the weekend. I'm going to try to get out 3 videos per week. Don't quote me on that. Definitely 2 episodes per week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are my days. But I am trying to sprinkle in a video on the weekends more often because I like making these and there's lots to talk about. And it's so sad to wait from Thursday all the way till Tuesday for another episode. So anyway, continue to tune in, subscribe if you're enjoying the show. And let's talk about lucky girl syndrome. So really early on in my sobriety, around the 50-day mark, 50, I found this Hot Wheels car in my apartment. Or I guess I always knew that I had it. But when I looked it up on eBay, 4 years prior, it was worth almost nothing. And then I kept it though, because the person who gave it to me said it might be worth something one day. And I kept it. And then when I was cleaning out my apartment in my early sobriety, this is what I'm talking about. Like I did so many deep cleans and just kept myself really busy. And so I discovered this car again that I had forgotten about. And I looked it up on eBay and it was worth $4,000, which is wild. Like they were actually selling on eBay recently for $4,000. And there was only 400 of them in the world. And I had one of them. So if you're interested in Hot Wheels at all, it was the Candy Cane Lane, like Chevy Hot Wheels car that was kind of for Christmas time. And so it was worth $4,000. I ended up selling it later for $3,700. So crazy. That's when the luck feels significant. Like I just get sober, I find this Hot Wheels car, I look it up, and it's worth $4,000. And also around that time, I promoted this product on TikTok Shop that I loved. Cakes. They're like the kind of nipple cover things. And I sold like over $100,000 worth of product, meaning that I got $20,000 for myself in commission, which is just crazy. And this was all just happening in my sobriety. It was just so weird. It's like good things just keep happening. You know what I mean? And you just have these good interactions with people. You keep getting lucky. It's like you arrive just at the store closing and they decide to let you in and finish your transaction before they close. or somebody gives you something, or you walk in and there's a discount and you're like, whoa, okay. Somebody selects you to get upgraded in the airplane. I mean, good things just happen. And I think that the luck comes when you get your life in order, which sobriety brings for a lot of us. You start getting your shiz together, if you know what I'm saying. And so good things keep happening. But I also think that lucky things happen to us when we focus on the positives. I talk about this so much in sobriety, that focusing on the positives is a really good motivator to continue. And I think that good things happen more often when you notice the good things. I feel that a lot of people in life focus on the bad things. We all know those people. We see them in our real life, in our day-to-day life. We see them online, like complainers, basically. You get on an airplane and that person is like, I'm hot. Why isn't the AC working? Why are we taking off late? This seat is so uncomfortable. My knees are touching the seat in front of me. Like, they focus on the negative things and it is exhausting. And when you focus on the negative things, you notice more negative things in your life. That's just how it happens. Bad things happen to you. You take note of them and it's like they keep happening because you're fixating on the negative things. Whereas if you make the active choice in your brain to focus on the positive things, more positive things happen. So I get onto that same aircraft and I say, wow, I'm so excited to be going on this trip. I love flying. I'm going to get to see a cool view from up in the sky. Like, I wonder what drink I should get when they come around. I'm glad that we're taking off later because then I can edit some TikTok videos while I'm sitting here on the ground. Like, I just put a positive spin on everything, and not like to be blindly positive in an annoying way where it's like you literally ignore any discomforts in life, but you just embrace the positive thoughts that come into your mind. And when you start embracing the positive things that come into your life, you will notice and appreciate the positive things more often. And I think that's why it becomes lucky girl syndrome. Like, it just keeps happening and you can't even explain why it is. It's because you take note of the positive things that happen in your life, so positive things keep happening. And also, in sobriety, you're just becoming a better person, a more responsible person, a more financially stable person. Your wheels are turning a bit better in your head. So you're being more creative. You're coming up with new ways to make money and new ways to be more efficient. And I could go on, but sobriety just gives you this kind of clarity. And for me, it was like the financial blessings just kept coming in early sobriety. And it's so funny because then flash forward to about my 7-month mark of sobriety and I get let go from my job. I'm moving states. I break up with my boyfriend and all these, transitions are happening in my life kind of later in sobriety. And I think it's happening because I can handle it now. And yet I still look at it as a positive thing. I mean, all of it's positive in my opinion. I am restarting my life at 28 years old and I'm excited about it. I have looked at being let go from my job as redirection and I'm actually switching careers. I'm studying to get my real estate license and I'm also doing this podcast, which maybe if I'm lucky, wink, wink, if I have some lucky girl syndrome, maybe I'll be able to make some money off of this podcast in addition to the real estate. So getting let go from my job allowed me to make space for this podcast, to study for my real estate license and do something that I'm actually interested in. And I see that as a blessing. I went through a breakup, but I initiated the breakup. I'm not going to go into the super details, but I felt like I was just on a different path, a different trajectory than my partner. And so I let that go. And I have been getting to know myself, literally dating myself. And I've been really enjoying it. All these different changes. I switched cities and I switched to be closer to my family, which I'm super excited about. I'm not in crazy wild Los Angeles anymore with all the, hubbub that happens there. But I'm in this town that makes me feel so whole. I'm with my family. I believe I'm surrounded by kinder people. I have people in my corner here. Like all these changes that a lot of people would look at negatively, I look at super positively. And it's fantastic. And I keep saying that I'm not into this woo-woo stuff, but some of it is a little woo-woo. But I feel that whatever's happening right now is supposed to happen. And like 5 years from now, I'm going to look back and it's all going to make sense. There is a reason that I was laid off from my job. And that's so I could discover this real estate thing, get in tune with my own passions, start this podcast. I'm writing a book, by the way. That's the first little announcement about that, but that's a long ways away until a book would be out. But getting laid off, moving cities, getting single, getting sober, all of these life choices have led me to what I believe to be the best version of myself and the best version of my life. I'm creating the life that I've always wanted. So being lucky is really special, and I believe it is something that you can control. Good things happen the more you notice good things happening. I mean, gosh, it could be anything. Like, I think being grateful is a way that you get lucky too. Recognizing when good things happen to you. People tend to focus so hard on the negative things. Like somebody cut you in line at the grocery store, or your line at the grocery store ended up taking way longer than the one next to you that you were deciding between. Should I go to that line or this line? And you choose the really slow one after all. And people focus on those negative things. I mean, the road rage in people. You get cut off on the road and people are just like, shaking their fists, honking, so angry. They're focusing on the negatives. It's a lot, and that weighs on you. And it plays out in your life and what happens to you when you're constantly focusing on the negatives. And then if you're a drinker and you mix alcohol with that, you are like enhancing the negatives instead of enhancing positives. So that's not healthy. That's what I was doing for sure. Bad things kept happening to me and I kept drinking about them. So I literally felt worse about the situations in the long run. And in sobriety, I focus on the positives and I do not drink at all. And so my life is just so positive and happy, and that's cool. And I'm a realist. Like, I understand when bad things happen. Somebody dies. Okay, that's sad. And I recognize that. And I allow myself to be sad about it. There are sad things that happen in life. There are frustrating things that happen in life. And you're allowed to be sad and angry and focus on those situations as negatives. You don't have to spin every situation into a positive, okay? I'm not a crazy person. I understand that bad things happen. But as you focus on bad things, you should also focus on positive things. And I don't think we give the positive things that happen in our lives enough credit. Or we just kind of assume that those are supposed to happen. And the negative things are like, whoa, this is wild. I think we have to realize that life is full of good things and bad things. And we need to actively recognize both the good things and the bad things, not just focus on the bad things. This is such a life hack, I swear. When you're in line at Starbucks and you notice that there's no cars there, you don't just assume like, yeah, there shouldn't be any cars. Like, I don't wait in lines, It's not an assumption. It's a good thing that happened to you. You're like, wow, what a blessing. I'm going to get through this so fast. Or you pull up your Starbucks app and you see that you already had $20 loaded on there that you forgot about. Yes, it's your own money that you loaded on there the last time. But you're like, oh, I was expecting that I was going to have to load 20 more. This is so cool. Like, nice, I forgot about that. Like, notice it as a positive thing. The machine that you want to use at the gym is free. Wow, what a blessing. That's exactly the machine that I wanted to use next, and it's sitting there waiting for me. Cool. Like, instead of just assuming that good things should happen to you, see them as blessings and recognize that they have happened and how cool that is. And I think when you go through life being grateful and thinking positively and recognizing the positive things that happen to you, you will live such a happier life. Good things will continue to happen to you and you will start to feel really, really lucky instead of feeling like your life sucks and the world is out to get you and bad things keep happening. When you switch the mindset, you are lucky. You create your own luck, literally. Try this mindset, make a shift, and tell me that your life doesn't improve, because it will. You literally are putting into the world that you are ready to receive good things and you're ready to receive luck, and you'll start to notice it. I keep bringing up the airport just because I've been there so often, but you'll be at the airport and just experience all these amazing things because you've put that positive spin on life. There's a lot of opportunities for random good things to happen to you at the airport, whether it's like no lines here, you get an early boarding, or they upgrade you, or, they have just the drink that you want. There's all sorts of positive things that can happen at the airport. So I'm just thinking about that. But you'll notice that of a group of people, the good thing's going to happen to you, because you're the one who's put this spin on their life and said that you're a lucky person ready to receive luck and you're grateful. It's just wild. And I love lucky girl syndrome. And I hope you do too. You can be a lucky girl or a lucky boy, a lucky person, if you just make the shift. And so welcome to the club. If you make the shift, you are part of the lucky club, and it feels really good and your life will improve. I promise. So lucky girl syndrome. So cool. I'll catch you guys for the next episode. Bye.